What up, world? Welcome to another episode of RMT. That's Real Man Talk. It's your boy, Stan the Man, coming to you with another great conversation piece on today. And before we get started, I want to thank you for joining me here on RMT. All right? So let's go ahead and get into it today. On today, I want to talk to the ones out there that it seemed like life just got you in a chokehold, right? You ripping and running and really trying to get to that point where you made it, right? I just want to let you know that there is power in patience and there is wisdom in waiting. And just like nature teaches us, right? Nothing rushes in nature, but everything gets accomplished. I just want you to think about this for a moment. You, um, a tree doesn't rush to grow. The sun doesn't rush to rise. Even you have caterpillars, they don't rush to a cocoon. Yet all of them fulfill a purpose completely, beautifully, and right on time. And I got a note right here that I want to read to you. Come from Genesis 1. And Genesis 1 shows us that even God didn't create the world in one day. He created it in stages. And at the end of each stage, he said it is good. Genesis 1 and 31. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. So I want to take time to let you know, like, if our creator took 7 days to create the world and to create the things that we see, why do we think we can make things happen overnight? That's my question to you. That's my question to you. That why do you think that you can make it happen overnight? Why do you think that the couple of years that you've been doing something that it should already be where you want it to be? And I think one thing that makes us I think one thing that makes us feel like that we should be there is friends, family, social media. Those three are the main factors that make us want to rush to get to the point or make us feel like we're not at the point that we should be at. And when we start to pay attention to all the outside noise, like I said, family, friends, and social media, when we start to pay attention to that, they get into our psyche and make us feel like we need to speed up, we need to rush what we doing, or we need to rush the process to get it there faster to appease everyone else around us. And and see, this is the thing. Sometimes God might want us to take a different route. Sometimes it might not be the right season for us. You know, when we go and you start a garden and you planting fruit or you planting vegetables or whatever you might be planting, if you plant something out of season, you're not gonna get the same results you're gonna get when you planted it within the season that you're supposed to plant it in. So we taking and just say we want to plant watermelons in the wintertime, and the best time to plant the watermelon is in the summertime, and we might not get the same results. It might not be the same size. And then sometimes when we take and we harvest something or we pull it off and we take it off before time and we might taste it, it might taste a little bitter because it's not time yet, because we have did something not in the right season, so it's not blossoming the way that we want it to blossom. But if we wait until the right season, we might get the results that we want. So let's go a little bit deeper. You know, one of my favorite books, which is the Bible, has a lot of lessons on the power of patience. And I just want to read this one scripture to you. Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under the heaven. There's a seasons for everything. It's a time to plant. It's a time to harvest. It's a time to cry. And it's a time to laugh. What season do you think you in right now? Just think about that. What season you think you in right now? And put it in the comments for me. What season that you think you in right now? See, sometimes, as I stated earlier, we want to reap the benefits of a season. We want to reap the benefits of something that we haven't even. We want to reap the benefits of work that we haven't put in yet. So we want to get the harvest from things that we haven't planted. We want to reap the harvest from things that we haven't cultivated in order to get it the way that it can grow the way they need to grow so we can harvest it. So we don't want to put the work in. You know, you got to till the land, get the land ready, put the seeds in, water it, keep the grass, keep the bugs away. And sometimes when we want to reap the benefits too soon, and you go and you taste something, it's bitter because it's not ready yet. It's not right. It's not ready to be picked at that time. It's not ready to be harvested. But since we so impatient and we get there, sometimes it don't be the way we want it to be because the harvest is not ready. And we'll get so impatient and want this so bad that it ain't for me. It ain't the way I want it to. You ever taste something that it wasn't right, it wasn't ready, and you taste it might have a little bitter taste in your mouth. And that's how life do us sometimes when we want to do things too fast. It can leave a bitter taste in our mouth when we want to move fast. Then sometimes we just don't want to wait. But let me read this to you. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength." They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So sometimes we just need to slow down. And when we wait on God, we don't get weak. We get stronger. Because He's building something up in us. He's building that patience up in us. He building um he building something up in us at that time that we have to wait. And then it came a time in my life where I just wanted to rush and get everything done. Think that I could repair everything that I did wrong. I remember a time when I first stopped drinking, and all the relationships that I had messed up prior to that, I thought that it should automatically be fixed because I changed my life. So everything I did to everybody else is totally erased now because I'm not that person. So you shouldn't think of me like that. You shouldn't come around me acting like that because I'm a whole different person. So let's erase all what I did or whatever I messed up and let's start over from there. But it's not like that. I expected everybody else to just accept and change overnight. But it took years for me to get those relationships the way that they were. It took years for me to mess that up. It took years for me to say or do the things that I did to people in order for them to feel a certain type of way about me. So now, instead of me being patient and saying, you know what, let me work and do this and do that, I first had to work on myself and accept the fact of all the stuff that I did wrong first. I had to start there. I had to accept the fact that I don't want to did this to those people, and I had to accept that. Then not only that, I had to accept the fact of the things that I did to myself. I had to accept the fact of the things that I did to myself. And once I accepted that fact, then I had to start moving forward. But I couldn't rush. I couldn't make up for the time of the things that I lost or I missed out on. Couldn't make up for that time. I couldn't spend enough money to replace moments that I messed up. It took time for me to rebuild some of those relationships. Then some of the relationships just fell off because they went it was just for that season. And since I was going to be a new person, I'm planting a new seed to grow inside of me. When I'm planting a new seed to grow inside of me, I'm in a different season now. So if I stayed in that old season of my life, that seed that I was putting inside of me, well, I take that back. Not me. The seed that God was putting inside of me, it wasn't going to flourish if I stayed in that old season. So now that I'm moving in this season, I'm going to have to be in this season with this seed in order for it to flourish. Because if I don't, I'm just going to be the same old me. And then let's be honest. I want to go back and touch a point right. I want to go back and touch a point real quick, right? About rushing. Sometimes we can get ahead of ourselves. Relationships, yep. Jobs, yep. Just a business venture. Sometimes we can get ahead of ourselves, like, especially when it comes to a relationship with a young lady, we can get ahead of ourselves just like, okay, we done had sex, the sex is good, she done blow my mind, the head good, I don't know what to do. This the woman for us. Like, and we just basing it off the sex, off the physical part. But we not thinking about, is this woman gonna be a good mother? Is she okay? How is her family? Is her mother and father together? If all these other factors that factor into having a good relationship and raising a healthy child, we not thinking about that because sometimes after we have the sex, the feelings is there, and we feel that we can build off the feelings and not anything else, and we rush into it. Then we get into something years down the road, we start to regret, but we have a child here. Now I'm in this situation. She not who I thought she was. He not who I thought he was. And now I want to get out of it. But if I would have took the time to get to know that person, if I would have took the time to step back from the sex to see if they got a good work history, how do they treat their parents? How do they treat other people? How do they act when they get mad? How do they go for low blows or say something intentionally to hurt or however it might be? And then sometimes we'll rush into work or into a business because it feel good at the time. It feel good at the time, or on social media. This what is going on. This the wave right now. And since this the wave right now, let me jump on this and make some money. I ain't doing no research on it. I'm gonna just jump on here and make some money because this is the wave. This what I think is popular. This what I feel this gonna be the next thing. And we rush into it, and sometimes when we don't have the drive to really do it, after the initial feeling and the emotion goes away, we don't want to do it no more, or we feel like we've been bamboozled because we didn't do our research, then it didn't turn out the way that we wanted to turn out, and we get upset because we done rushed into it. We didn't slow down to think about the different processes or what I should do. Now sometimes you can hop into it and you say go and you just go at it and you just learn it along the way. I understand that part, but I'm talking about if you one of the people that's constantly starting over, starting over, starting over, starting over, starting over. That's what I'm talking about. Some people that jumped into things when head first, bumped their head, did this and sticking with it and sticking through it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you constantly want to start over, start over, start over, start over. When you gonna have some stickability to something that you said that you wanted to commit yourself to and you wanted to grow, you wanted to build. When you gonna commit to it? When you gonna actually put in that work, put in that investment, not only within yourself, financially, within what you're trying to do. And let me read this one to you right here. Proverbs 19:2. Desires without knowledge is not good. How much more will hasty feet miss the way? Excuse me, let me read that again. Desires without knowledge is not good. How much more will hasty feet miss the way? Mm-hmm. A lot of us miss the point because we refuse to slow down. We refuse to slow down and let God direct our steps. We let everybody else tell us, hey, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Instead of really praying and seeking what direction you should go, how fast you should go, and what you should do. And see, this is the thing. Right now, you might be thinking, man, I'm broke down. I ain't got no more left in the tank. This all for me. But just think about this. You can always be rebuilt and come back good. Come back even better. Be worth even more. Don't beat yourself up right now because you might not be in the place that you want to be. Because think about this. You might not be at the place you want to be right now, but when you going through a construction site, it takes time to build it up. Have you ever drove by either it can be a building going up or a house, it'll say the sign coming soon, this building, and it's built by the company. Coming soon, these type of houses. You can go on the website. This is the blueprint on how they're going to look. If you want to purchase one, this way you can purchase one at, but it's coming soon. So you got the blueprint of your life, and it might have been an old building that was there. Then they tore the old building down because the pipes might be old or just the structure is not good. So you got to rebuild it to make it even better. So now that's what you're going through. A part of being rebuilt. And rebuilt, it don't happen overnight. You got to pour a foundation. Plumbers got to come in, put the pipes in. You got the builders come in, and after the foundation, they going up with the framework. As they go with the framework, you got the electrician, you got the roofers, you got everybody come in with the appliances. You got everybody, sheetrock, people that do the backdrop. I mean, not the backdrop, but the golly, I can't think of it right now. But the tile work. You got people come in and do the tile work, everything. So you got multiple people that probably need to come into your life and show you different things. Or it might just be one person come in and show you a different direction so you can start to build yourself up. But you just on the construction right now, so don't be so hard on yourself. And that's talking to me too, because sometimes I can be my biggest critic, and I can be harder on myself than anybody else. Look, I don't know the storm that you're going through, and I don't know how tired you are, but I do know this: you don't have to rush to arrive. If you ever been traveling and you got some hours to travel there, if you go fast, you go over the speed limit and you speeding, you probably have an accident, or you can hurt somebody else. I'm not saying that you can't arrive there safely, but you driving over the speed limit for 8 hours is not a safe thing. But if you driving on the road at a consistent pace, you'll get there safely. You don't have to rush. You don't have to rush. And I want to give this to you too. Philippians 1:6. Being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it out onto completion. So don't think that if God starts to change you, that he won't finish it out. But we got to make sure that we are praying in order to get completed. Because sometimes the sin and the things that we in will drive a wedge between us getting better and us staying the same. Yeah, us getting better and us staying the same. Some of those old things that feel good to the flesh is hard to let go. Like it might be easy to put down cigarettes, but it might be hard to put down porn. Just keeping it a buck. It might be easy to it might be easy to stop drinking, but it might be harder to stop fornicating. It might be harder to stop doing that. If you've been having sex with women all these years, or you've been having sex period all these years, and then all of a sudden you just gonna go cold turkey. Not saying that you can't do it. I'm just saying everybody have different struggles that they struggle with. Some people can let things go faster, and others it takes time to let it go. It might be somebody that can't they ain't done with sex. They ain't gotta watch no porn, but they can't stop smoking cigarettes. Can't stop smoking weed. You know, they can't stop it. So you have to get to the point where every day is gonna be a fight to fight against it, so you can be completed into the person that God really wants you to be. You until you get to that complete point, it's gonna constantly be tough. Something gonna constantly be around your back. Until you get to the point you say, you know what, enough is enough. And every day I'm gonna fight this until I get the victory over this. And it might just be the breakthrough that you need for anything that you want to reap the harvest off of it. That might be the seed that you need to cultivate. You need to clean around, need to water it. It's that thing that you need to let go in order for something to grow inside of you and produce the way that you want it to produce. Yeah, that might just be the thing. And let's go back to nature for a second, right? I'm gonna look right here in my notes. A bamboo spend 5 years growing roots before it even breaks the surface, right? But when it finally does, it shoots up overnight. And some of y'all are in that root stage, and you think nothing is happening. You don't think nothing is happening because when you by yourself working overnight, when you by yourself, when you got those late nights, early morning, and no one is there, when there's no one there clapping, no one applauding, you're not getting the likes, you're not getting the shares, you're not getting the comments that you want, you're not getting the help from people that you think you should get. It might be that season that you have to learn this on your own. You have to build this on your own, and you're not used to that. You're used to people being around, but that's your roots getting planted. That's your roots getting down. It's getting deeper and deeper down. If you ever saw a tree get cut down, a large tree, and they get ready to pull up the roots probably be at least 12 to 15 feet all around the tree, and they have to constantly cut 12 or 15 feet around it to get all the roots up. Because you have to have wider roots to hold a larger tree in the air. And see, I got this right here. But God's building a foundation, the part nobody sees, because when he elevates you, he wants to make sure you don't fall. Yeah. When you start to shoot up and your roots are grounded, you ain't have to worry about falling like that, because a lot of that stuff already dealt with inside, so it's not gonna pull you to the left or gonna pull you to the right. You're gonna do what they say, stand on business. Yeah, you're gonna stand on business because your roots are down planted and deep. That way you won't be swayed left or right. What's growing in you right now? What do you think God is preparing you for right now? What do you think? In this quiet season, what do you think he's preparing you for? In this alone season, what do you think that he's preparing you for? In this season when nobody else patting you on your back, what do you think that he's preparing you for? See, it might be a lot of things that you might be doing that you think is weird. Like even with me, setting up the cameras, getting the angles, editing, and doing all that. A lot of times you doing the groundwork and figuring out how everything works. When you get to the point where you don't have to do that, can't nobody pull the wool over your eyes because you know the way things should work. That's why you're going through that. You have to learn. Some people shot up in business and they didn't have to do the grunt work. You got to do the grunt work. You got to figure out how everything works, everything move, where every dollar at your budget. You have to do all that yourself. But that's building up so when somebody is not there, you can still do it. You can still set up your camera. You can still drive your truck. You can still run your business without that person being there because you know how everything operates and it works. So he might have you in your quiet season for that. He might have you in your quiet season to become a better husband, become a better wife, become a better person, period. That might be your time. The stuff that you might be praying for, he might be pulling you away from everything to mold, mend you, and then present you back out. And another thing we do, man, we put we put time frames on when we should have things done. I want to have this done by my 30s. I want to have this done by my 40s. I want to have this, and that. You know, I want to be looking like this. I want to be that. All these time frames. And we start to rush ourselves in order to meet these deadlines that we set for our life. And God didn't. You know, it's a saying that goes around that if you want to make God mad, tell him your plans. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And that's what we setting up to get things done. I want to get this done by 30. I want to get this done by 40. I want to have this type of house. I want this type of job. I want to make this type of money. And it's okay to have goals. It's okay to want to do more and have more. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you continue to put time frames on what you want to do and when you want to do it, when you don't hit those time frames in those age range, when you don't hit when you don't hit that, when you do, it's gonna make you mad. Young man, that's gonna make you mad when you get to that point and you be like, oh man, I'm in my 30s, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. But what was you doing in your 20s? Was you preparing to do that? Because if you in your 20s, you got certain goals in your 30s, and you using it just partying, kicking it, chasing women, having sex, doing drugs. Then you got these goals when you get to your 30s, you might not hit them doing all that, man. Just being honest. And even if you, and sometimes I'm not saying that you can't, but even if you do hit it, when you get to your 30s, are you going to be able to maintain the success that you have built when you still doing all those things that you was doing in your 20s? So to keep your frustration down, man, it would help if you just didn't put, I want to do this, and then I got to get this done by 30. I got to get this done by 40. And like I said, nothing wrong with having goals. But those time steps sometimes, it can frustrate you because you're not hitting them when you want them to. I want to leave you with this. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're not too late. Nothing rushes in nature, but everything gets accomplished. I want to leave you at that. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, Stan the Man. You can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Also, Real Men Talk Podcast, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. If you want to hear me speak about anything, just hit me up on any of those social media platforms or drop it in the comments. Also, if you want to see anyone come on here and be on the show on Real Men Talk, or if you want to be a guest yourself, hit me up in the inbox on the social media, and I'll talk to you then. We can get some set up. But until next week, peace. All righty.